Last trip to the dump. I'm so sleepy. Oh man, this older Latino man was like, "Can I help you? You don't have a man?" I'm like, "Nope, I don't have a man. I'll take some help." I'm so sleepy. I'll take help from anybody. Anybody that wants to lift something heavy, you can lift all the heavy things for me. I'm so tired. Okay. Here we go. And it's raining again. I mean, it's raining because we just went through a hurricane, but every single time I've come out here, it has been raining. So that's, we have now spent whatever 9 times 3 or 4 trips out to the dump, plus gas, plus about like 5 bean burritos that I've eaten on the way here from Del Taco. But it's done. It is done. So we're moving into another phase of the bus project. In addition to training my own dogs, converting a bus for a home for myself and my dogs, as well as starting a natural pet food business, going to conferences about pet foods, sleeping, eating, and keeping up with all of these storms and hurricanes that keep coming through. I also do pet sitting and walking for Rover. It's really kind of what helped me just like get my toes into this dog training world. So I had the pleasure of walking Kaiku, and it was an adventure from the start. First, we had a little meet and greet, and every single lawnmower, blower, clipper person coming in and out, Amazon, UPS, like you name a distraction, it was there. It was 10 a.m. and I would not have guessed that it would have been so busy at this owner's apartment complex, but it was. So I was like, well, the dog was kind of nervous, but honestly, I wasn't really that calm either because it was just so much going on. So then fast forward to the next day and it's time for our evening walk. And when I walked in the door, that dog was like, "Who are you? Get out of my house. I don't know you. Let go my purse." Like, this dog was not having it. So I let him out the cage and Kaiku is growling and snapping at me. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit on the floor, make myself just calm and see if he will mirror match my energy. Nope. 10 minutes later, he's still just as scared. So I try throwing him some treats to see if he can come over. It doesn't work. So then I get kind of nervous and I'm just like, okay, nothing's working. It's been 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, should I just cut my losses and like let this owner know, like, hi, I came in, I tried to take them out. It didn't work. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to leave. Or should I keep going? Like, risk cause, I am being paid, but also paid to take this dog out. And I was like, you know what? It's the evening. Let's just try something. So I started singing, which is my go-to thing to calm and regulate my nervous system. But also I find that it helps regulate other nervous systems, especially animal nervous systems. So I start kind of just like singing. I don't even remember what I was singing. It doesn't really matter. And kind of humming. And then I remembered some of the games that we played at Pump and Iron over the summer of like the Look Me games, the 1, 2, 3 game. I want to get the book so I can actually like nail these game names down because I love playing them and my dogs enjoy them. So I start just rewarding for eye contact, and this dog was so nervous that he was not interested in eating treats. I mean, there were treats like all over this person's house because he was just like, "Get out of my house. I don't want to eat anything. I just want you out of my house. Go away, go away. I'm so scared. I just want this big scary person out of my house," because that's really the core of what's happening here is that this dog is afraid. He's not being vicious and violent at me because he's a vicious and violent dog. It's because he is terrified. So I just start paying him for any kind of looks, even snaps, growls. I was like, I don't know, I might be undoing things. I wasn't exactly sure if this was going to work. And then after about 15 minutes, I realized, wait a minute, not only is he eating treats, but I got this dog literally eating out of my hand. And then I was able to put the leash on. I was like, I'm not messing with this harness. Like, we ain't cool like that, okay? These treats are not a high value enough. These were whatever treats the owner had. And I was like, I'm feeling like these aren't quite high value enough to get you to be relaxed enough for me to put on your harness. That's okay. we'll just go with the flat collar and go outside and see how it goes. And yeah, I think this dog would definitely benefit from some training. I think all dogs benefit from training. Um, he's a poodle and a cavalier. So, the poodle's gonna have like that prey drive. He was definitely snapping and nipping, trying to get every single human outside because he's just like, I'm so scared. I don't want to be around people. Snap, snap, snap. Bark, bark, bark. And I'm like, oh, poor Kaiku. You gotta learn how to stand your ground, but also be calm and know that you are connected to the earth and that you are safe with your owner on the collar, on the leash, and all those things. So, I mean, that's something I've gone through with Yin, myself, and Yang. So we're all on this journey together, like I say every video. But that's just another thing that also happened in addition to everything else that's going on in my life. I also get to take care of and learn from and communicate with other people's dogs.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information and to find out how you can volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Moira Fogarty. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Translated by Lionel Giles. Part 1. Laying Plans. Sun Tzu said, "The art of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence it is a subject of inquiry which can on no account be neglected. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors, to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field. These are 1. The moral law, 2. Heaven, 3. Earth, 4. The commander, 5. Method and discipline. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times and seasons. Earth comprises distances, great and small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshalling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the graduations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of military expenditure. These 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of a comparison in this wise. 1. Which of the 2 sovereigns is imbued with the moral law? 2. Which of the 2 generals has most ability? 3. With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? 4. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? 5. Which army is stronger? 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? 7. In which army is there the greater constancy both in reward and punishment? By means of these 7 considerations I can forecast victory or defeat. The general that hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such a one be retained in command. The general that hearkens not to my counsel nor acts upon it will suffer defeat. Let such a one be dismissed. While heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourself also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. According as circumstances are favourable, one should modify one's plans. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. Hold out baits to entice the enemy. Feign disorder and crush him. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. Attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. These military devices, leading to victory, must not be divulged beforehand. Now the general who wins a battle makes many calculations in his temple ere the battle is fought. The general who loses a battle makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus do many calculations lead to victory, and few calculations to defeat. How much more no calculation at all? It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. End of Part 1. Part 2. Waging War. Sun Tzu said, "In the operations of war, where there are in the field 1,000 swift chariots, as many heavy chariots, and 100,000 mail-clad soldiers, with provisions enough to carry them 1,000 li, the expenditure at home and at the front, including entertainment of guests, small items such as glue and paint, and sums spent on chariots and armour, will reach the total of 1,000 ounces of silver per day. Such is the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men." When you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, then men's weapons will grow dull and their ardour will be damped. If you lay siege to a town, you will exhaust your strength. Again, if the campaign is protracted, the resources of the state will not be equal to the strain. Now, when your weapons are dulled, your ardour damped, your strength exhausted, and your treasure spent, other chieftains will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. Then no man, however wise, will be able to avert the consequences that must ensue. Thus, though we have heard of stupid haste in war, cleverness has never been seen associated with long delays. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. It is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitable way of carrying it on. The skilful soldier does not raise a second levy. Neither are his supply wagons loaded more than twice. Bring war material with you from home, but forage on the enemy. Thus the army will have food enough for its needs. Poverty of the state exchequer causes an army to be maintained by contributions from a distance. Contributing to maintain an army at a distance causes the people to be impoverished. On the other hand, the proximity of an army causes prices to go up, and high prices cause the people's substance to be drained away. When their substance is drained away, the peasantry will be afflicted by heavy exactions. With this loss of substance and exhaustion of strength, the homes of the people will be stripped bare, and 3/10 of their income will be dissipated, while government expenses for broken chariots, worn-out horses, breastplates and helmets, bows and arrows, spears and shields, protective mantles, draught oxen, and heavy wagons will amount to 4/10 of its total revenue. Hence a wise general makes a point of foraging on the enemy. 1 cartload of the enemy's provisions is equivalent to 20 of one's own, and likewise a single picul of his provender is equivalent to 20 from one's own store. Now in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger. That there may be advantage from defeating the enemy, they must have their rewards. Therefore in chariot fighting, when 10 or more chariots have been taken, those should be rewarded who took the first. Our own flags should be substituted for those of the enemy, and their chariots mingled and used in conjunction with ours. The captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. This is called using the conquered foe to augment one's own strength. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. Thus it may be known that the leader of armies is the arbiter of the people's fate, the man on whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. End of Part 2. Recorded in Toronto, Ontario by Moira Fogarty, October 2006. Standing on the defensive indicates insufficient strength. Attacking, a superabundance of strength. The general who is skilled in defence hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. He who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. Thus, on the one hand, we have ability to protect ourselves, on the other, a victory that is complete. To see victory only when it is within the ken of the common herd is not the acme of excellence. Neither is it the acme of excellence if you fight and conquer, and the whole empire says, "Well done!" To lift an autumn hair is no sign of great strength. To see the sun and moon is no sign of sharp sight. To hear the noise of thunder is no sign of a quick ear. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. Hence his victories bring him neither reputation for wisdom nor credit for courage. He wins his battles by making no mistakes. Making no mistakes is what establishes the certainty of victory, for it means conquering an enemy that is already defeated. Hence the skillful fighter puts himself into a position which makes defeat impossible, and does not miss the moment for defeating the enemy. Thus it is that in war the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to method and discipline. Thus it is in his power to control success. In respect of military method we have, firstly, measurement, secondly, estimation of quantity, thirdly, calculation, fourthly, balancing of chances, fifthly, victory. Measurement owes its existence to earth, estimation of quantity to measurement, calculation to estimation of quantity, balancing of chances to calculation, and victory to balancing of chances. A victorious army opposed to a routed one is as a pound's weight placed in the scale against a single grain. The onrush of a conquering force is like the bursting of pent-up waters into a chasm 1,000 fathoms deep. N. 5. Energy. Sun Tzu said, "The control of a large force is the same principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers." Fighting with a large army under your command is nowise different from fighting with a small one. It is merely a question of instituting signs and signals. To ensure that your whole host may withstand the brunt of the enemy's attack and remain unshaken, this is effected by maneuvers direct and indirect. That the impact of your army may be like a grindstone dashed against an egg, this is effected by the science of weak points and strong. In all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. Indirect tactics, efficiently applied, are inexhaustible as heaven and earth, unending as the flow of rivers and streams. Like the sun and moon, they end but to begin anew. Like the 4 seasons, they pass away to return once more. There are not more than 5 musical notes, yet the combinations of these 5 give rise to more melodies than can ever be heard. There are not more than 5 primary colors, blue, yellow, red, white, and black, yet in combination they produce more hues than can ever be seen. There are not more than 5 cardinal tastes, sour, acrid, salt, sweet, bitter, yet combinations of them yield more flavors than can ever be tasted. In battle there are not more than 2 methods of attack, the direct and the indirect, yet these 2 in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. The direct and the indirect lead on to each other in turn. It is like moving in a circle, you never come to an end. Who can exhaust the possibilities of their combination? The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent which will even roll stones along in its course. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. Therefore, the good fighter will be terrible in his onset and prompt in his decision. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing of a trigger. Amid the turmoil and tumult of battle, there may be seeming disorder, and yet no real disorder at all. Amid confusion and chaos, your array may be without head or tail, yet it will be proof against defeat. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Simulated fear postulates courage. Simulated weakness postulates strength. Hiding order beneath the cloak of disorder is simply a question of subdivision. Concealing courage under their show of timidity presupposes a fund of latent energy. Masking strength with weakness is to be effected by tactical dispositions. Thus, one who is skillful at keeping the enemy on the move maintains deceitful appearances, according to which the enemy will act. He sacrifices something that the enemy may snatch at it. By holding out baits, he keeps him on the march. Then, with a body of picked men, he lies in wait for him. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy, and does not require too much from individuals. Hence his ability to pick out the right men and utilize combined energy. When he utilizes combined energy, his fighting men become as it were like unto rolling logs.